Welcome to In the Black, the podcast that shines a light on resilience, transformation, and the power of reinvention. I'm Araceli, and each week, my co host Shannon and I sit down with incredible women who face some of life's hardest challenges, from personal setbacks to societal obstacles, and have emerged on the other side stronger, driven, and ready to make a difference.
On In the Black, we celebrate these stories of strength and success, diving deep into the journeys of women who turned pain into purpose, adversity into action, and now dedicate themselves to making the world a better place in their own way. They're here to inspire, share hard-earned wisdom, and remind us all, no matter how dark things may seem, life is cyclical and dawn is coming. So whether you're looking for inspiration, motivation, or just a reminder that change is always possible, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to In the Black.
On today's podcast, we have LaShatá. LaShatá Marie Grayson is a first-generation college graduate who transformed her journey from academic probation to becoming a TEDxGary Speaker, equity strategist, and wellness coach. She now serves as the executive director of Carrying the Weight and the director of leadership and DEI initiatives at Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity International. With over a decade of experience in education, training, and people development, LaShatá has empowered more than 10,000 individuals annually through her dynamic speaking engagements. As the founder of Black Girls Who Lift, she has inspired countless Black women to prioritize physical and mental well-being. Her partnerships include NASA, Walmart, The Ohio State University, and Girls Inc., among others. A native of Gary, Indiana, and a certified CrossFit Level 1 coach. I didn't know you're a CrossFit Level 1 coach. I'm sorry. A native of Gary, Indiana, and a certified CrossFit Level 1 coach, LaShatá is passionate about fostering inclusion and ensuring no one carries the weight of leadership or health alone. Welcome, LaShatá, to our podcast. I am so glad to have you on and so glad to reconnect again. It's been, how many years has it been?
It's been quite some time. I'm just thankful, like I said, to be here. Thank you for reading my bio. Honestly, it's just a bunch of words and a bunch of things that basically means that I'm trying to help people. I'm just trying to help people carry the weight, whether it's physically, mentally, all the different type of things. And yeah, I went through my own season of like titles don't equate value. It's been so long, and it feels so good to just reconnect because we were in a space when we connected together. And now to kind of come back and to see like it's so nostalgic to see like where I was to where I am now and where you are and just this platform. So I'm just in awe.
I'm in awe of you. So I met you at our former CrossFit gym, and you came and then you went. Like, it was so quick. You came and then we hit it off, and we even hung out outside. You even came to, I was doing a partnership with one of the breweries that reached out to me to host Diverge Wellness, a fitness series. And you were there and you just volunteered. You're just like, let me go help and like videotape or like video
Yeah.
you and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, no, you don't have to do that. That's, you have your own life, your own time. Like, that's just, I would never ask someone to do that. And you're like, no, I like doing this. Like, you were just non-bothered. You were just so willing to give your time. And so we hung out a few times. I think we went out to lunch. I don't know if it was the same day or a different day. And then you were like, hey, can you help me pack and move? And I was like, what? What? You're leaving?
Oh my goodness. I literally didn't have anyone, and you and your partner helped me. Like, it was like put everything in my store. Oh my goodness. I forgot about that. Put everything in my storage. I didn't have no family. Oh my goodness. I had no family and didn't even know that I would end up moving. So I helped you out the kindness of my heart. And then when it was time for you to return the favor, you did, because I was struggling. I said, I'm not going to get all this stuff downstairs.
Yeah. I brought my strong husband.
He's very tech. What is it? Techrous? What is it? Where people can put stuff. Y'all know what it is.
Tetris.
Tech.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not that. I'm not that. He's very like, oh, put it here, put it there. I'm like, okay.
Yes, he's so good. He's like, get the cushion, get it underneath the glass thing, like fix it this way. You slide this little thing, you like organize it so like everything fit in there. Man, he's so good at that stuff. I'm like, I have to bring Jordan to help me move because I'm no help. I'll be like, do you want to like go get coffee and like hire someone to do this? So yes, he's very good at that. So yeah, let's talk about your what brought you to Springfield to just come into my life and then just leave me like that? Or what was the real reason for you coming to Springfield?
Yeah, so I got a job in Missouri State. I was the assistant director of student engagement over fraternities and sororities, basically leadership, helping college students see the best in themselves. I got it right after I graduated with my master's, and Springfield was interesting. I'm from Gary, Indiana, and then I went to college in Indianapolis, Indiana, more of a city, and so Springfield was just interesting. I think the only thing that kept me in Springfield was the gym, and honestly, because physical fitness and just getting myself back to where I wanted to be and feeling good. And so I was there for about a year, and I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. It was just a lot of struggle. I mean, for me, like, I'm a Black woman. It was struggle for me to get my hair done. It was struggle for me to find community. And so I was just like, I'm chasing a career, but my life is not fulfilled. And so I need to go where there's more things outside of just getting a bag or getting to my career. And so that's why I was like, I'm going to leave. I can leave. I don't have any kids. Let's just do it. Impulsive, and did it. And I haven't really looked back, but the memories from just being in Springfield and the people that I connected with, once again, from the gym, is who I still keep in contact with.
Yes. Oh, I need to keep more in contact with you. I feel like I do just because, I see you on Instagram, but I'm like, that's not the same. I should probably reach out and like just text you.
I think we all just have different capacities. I think Instagram is great for that reason. Like, I can see like what's going on with people, social media, and if it's a text here and there, because sometimes it's like for me, I'm in my 30s, so it's like friendships look different. Friendships look so different for me than I was in college, when I was in high school. You got to plan out time to talk, schedule, all those things. So like, I appreciate sometimes the Instagram conversations because that's what the capacity that we have. We're both business women trying to make it for ourselves. And so those small moments actually go a long way. And look at, like, now we're having a conversation that was planned, put on the schedule, and happening.
Talk to us about, I know that I saw that you were on a different podcast, you know, that you went through a little bit of a low. So tell us about that, how you ended up there, how you felt while you were there, what you dealt with. Take us through that journey.
So yeah, I was on my friend's podcast, and he has people always on there and tell them about the lowest moment of your life. I've had several low moments, like the weight loss. I think that's one that people always remember from. But 2 years ago, I closed out a chapter. I was in a business. I had left my full time job at Indiana State. I went through just a series of things trying to prove myself, and I kind of lost everything, from the business that I had, from the job, from my apartment, and I had to move back home. A lot of people didn't know that, and I'm now in a space where I can talk about it because I don't feel shameful for anything. But imagine being 30 years old, you don't have a job, you don't have the business that you thought that was going to thrive. You've lost a friend, you lost everything, and you're supposed to just pick yourself back up. And so moving back home with my parents, where I'm from, going back to Gary, sometimes it's seen as like, why are you back? Why are you back here? Like, you made it out. You went to college, right? You're supposed to be that girl. Why are you back? And so moving back in, I moved back first in with my Granny MJ. That's like my best friend, literally. That's my girl. But moved back in with her, and I think it was just a season that I needed, like taking care of me, reassuring me. But it was a battle. I think as women, we have a battle of like having to be perfect, having to be put together. And it was the first time in my life in a long time I wasn't put together. It was the first time in my life where my degrees didn't mean anything. It was the first time in my life where money was non-existent. When we talk about, like I said, pulling money out of my 401k, actually trying to just survive, I didn't know what that looked like at the season of my life. And so every day, just having to tell myself that I can make it through. I moved back home for a little bit, and then my dad lives in Indianapolis. I'm very close with him as well. And so I was like, I talked to him and I was just like, I'm just not getting what I need being back at home. So he was just like, well, do you want to move in with me? So I ended up moving in with him in Indianapolis. Started to still pick up work as a speaker. I was still getting booked. I'm very into just my faith. And so still getting ends meet to pay my car note, to pay my bills that I had. I am one of 8. So my brothers helped me here and there with bills. But like I said, it was the first time in my life where I had to depend on my family. I'm the strong one. I am the oldest. And so I take care of a lot of people. And it was that season where they had to take care of me. And so the job that I have now, I'm coming up on a year. And so one of my colleagues mentioned my name in the space and was like, you need someone that's going to take your organization to the next level. I interviewed, I ended up getting it. My business, I ended up getting 3, the business that I currently have now, 3 retainer contracts. And so money started to just overflow in, but I had to realize, like, what mistakes do I not need to make again? I think that person 2 years ago was so caught up into money, so caught up into being seen, so caught into like being that girl, versus the person now is like actually doing the work to be that girl. Like, I am really doing the work, like therapy, going to the gym, like the hard stuff. I struggle with being by myself sometimes because you have to face those type of things. And so losing it all to kind of get back to where I am now, it's just different. Friendships look different for me. My healing journey looks different, and also some accountability. I think 2 years ago, I didn't take a lot of accountability. A lot of things I was not good at. A lot of things I could have been a better friend. I could have been a lot of things. And so now I'm just like on that journey to be better. And also it's opened up a different door because the season that I went through, I'm like, I don't want another woman to go through this by themselves neither. I don't want women to be drowning and not know what resources to get or how to even navigate it. I don't want another woman to be struggling with their weight or their confidence and not knowing how to get help. I just don't want women to experience that. And so that's when I start to be like, hey, carrying the weight can be more than what I thought it could be. Black girls can be more than what I thought it could be, because I went through this season for a reason. And it's to help other people. Like I said, I was drowning. I didn't get to the point where, like I said, I was harming myself at all, but I've definitely had some thoughts years ago for sure. And just every day getting myself up every single day. And it is not easy. But my village, I shout out Gary, Indiana every time, because my village is just amazing and reminds me of like, you can keep going. But also, I think I had to take off the cape. As women, we have a cape, and I had to take it off. I'm not strong. I need help. I am struggling sometimes. I do not have it all together. I am very much a high achiever, but my degrees do not equate my value. And so that was, like I said, the season kind of what I like. So things got better for me for sure, but I still have low days. I still have moments, and I'm still doing the hard work. And I just want to be the person, like I said, that other people think I am. And so that is an ongoing series. But yeah, it was hard. Money wise, I've never been that broke. I said, this is broke, honey. Borrowing money. Where they do that at? No, like account barely making it. Like, I'm 30 some years old. How did you get here, girl? How did you get here? And so I'm very much of an advocate of standing on your own 2 feet now. Like, not even just standing on your own 2 feet, but making better choices. I wasn't taught how to manage money the best. So when I started to get 6-figure checks to talk, I'm like, oh, okay, let's go, let's shop. So it's just a learning experience as well. But also, I think everything had to happen for me to kind of be right here and to really do the work that I'm doing on myself now. So yeah, that was one of the lowest moments, losing it all. I wouldn't say to get it back. I think to go on a different journey. I don't think I've gotten everything back. I think I've really kind of figured out some different pathways, because I want everything back. I don't think that person was the healthiest person. I want a new person now.
Was this after you left Springfield?
Yeah. So this is after I left Springfield. I worked at another institution for a year after that in Terre Haute, Indiana, and was kind of doing the same thing I was doing in Springfield. I've gotten to speaking a little bit more, like I said, and hosting fitness events, etc. But it was kind of like all over the place. And so, yeah, I had gotten to, like I said, a partnership, and it just didn't end up working out the way it was supposed to. But also my job was just very problematic for me. Like my confidence.
The job that you got when you left Springfield was problematic?
Yeah, the job that I got when I left Springfield was problematic. The environment just wasn't healthy for me. I was gaining weight. I was really in a down space. Working in higher education, I love the students, but I didn't have any boundaries. Like I would stay at work till 10 o'clock, and then get up and try to work out. I would eat. There's this place called George's on campus, and once I post to people, and they're like, "Yes, I ate cheese fries all the time," and so just eating bad and not knowing, I didn't know a lot of stuff. So yeah, it just wasn't the best healthy for me. And so, but also I think I didn't really know what healthy looked like. Like I think a lot of times people say, oh, well, you need a healthy work environment. But if you're not taught what healthy looks like, or you can't define it, you don't know what you're looking for.
I think that's so vital for people to realize, because you can only do what you can do with the knowledge that you have at that time. I think a lot of times people don't forgive themselves or think they should have made a different choice when in reality they were doing the best that they could with the information that they had at the time. And it sounds like that's kind of the case for you, where you were just pushing forward and trying to do the best that you could with what you knew. Um, so I'm curious though, as far as how your mindset has shifted, in order to allow you um, to just forgive yourself, to move on, to say, okay, that was a hard time, but I'm going to push through this. Like as you were going through that journey, what did that look like for you, like emotionally and in your relationships and that sort of thing?
Mm. The mindset shift emotionally, I didn't really know. Like some days I would cry, some days I would be like, okay. I would sit in my car. I would probably sit in my car for hours. Like fall asleep in my car. Like and just sit there and be upset with myself. My former college roommate, Denasia, um, I owe a lot to her during that season because she gave me a key to her house. Like anytime I want to come and just have a space for myself, or like just really making sure I kind of pick myself up emotionally. And that was just what I needed during that time. I'll be honest, I couldn't afford therapy during that time. So like I had got a grant I'm a board member of Urban Council Collective, Indianapolis, and I had got a grant for like $500. And I was like, okay. And then that's when I started to meet with someone to figure out emotionally, what do I do? Because at this point, I'm just like, okay. I ended up getting a trainer. Her name was Elise. And I went to her like December, what is this, 2024? So it's probably December 2023. I started going to her and I was like, I need help. Like, I know how to work out, right? Like I'm a trainer. I've done so many different things. But I'm like, emotionally, I don't have the capacity to show up for myself. I need to just show up to a gym and be told what to do. And emotionally, I start to reflect on a lot of different things and like to keep going. And it's crazy me talking about it now. I really haven't really talked to people like in this capacity about it, but yeah. So to get out of that like funk, I had to kind of be more self-aware of like something's wrong. So the self-awareness was key. I think my emotional intelligence has really went up. So being self-aware of like I'm not myself. I'm struggling, and what do I need? What makes me feel better? Talking to people, going to the gym, But finding money to do it was hard. And I think that's why on the other side, I get so passionate about the work that I'm doing because a lot of people can't afford it. I seen it. I was that person 2 years ago. I had to find a grant to get therapy. I had to to find it. Luckily, I am pretty smart in college, and I'm in a sorority, so I had access. But a lot of people. What about the woman that's like me that didn't have access, who didn't go to college, who have kids, and what about those type of women, right? Like, yeah. So literally, I think my emotions just went from a self awareness to how do I manage it emotionally? What do I need? And so that's kind of like the whirlwind of things. And now I'm at a space where I can call it and I can be like, oh, girl, you're not having a good day. Okay, what do we need to do to get ourselves back? Who do you need to call? Who's your village? And so it's work, for sure.
I think that has been a recurring theme with our guests is being able to perceive, okay, this is a bad day, this is hard. How am I going to fix this? And so that's pretty cool. The other thing that you said earlier, you were talking about your community, surrounding yourself and actually being willing to ask for help. And I couldn't help but think of Brene Brown. I don't know if you've read anything by her, but I absolutely love her and how she talks about when we're vulnerable, our community pulls together even closer and it creates strength in vulnerability and it creates the ability to go and do the things that we want to do. And it sounds like you really were able to find that community to support you in that as well. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. I appreciate that. I am a Brene Brown fan. I am Alex L. How We Heal is a great book too. I'm a fan of her work and just the reflection. I'm a reflective person, and so asking myself different questions every day and being reflective, um, just of this work, but also like just dealing with a whirlwind of different things. Over the last year or two, being diagnosed like with high level anxiety, I guess, and realizing like the struggles with being diagnosed with something or being told something else is wrong with you. Um, it's a whirlwind of different emotions too, right? Like, because it's like I said, I'm a high achieving woman. Something else is wrong? No way. And so being vulnerable to have that conversation and tell people like, I'm dealing with myself every day. And I don't have kids. I aspire to be a mom, but I want to be the best person that, I can be. And also that vulnerability sometimes is a privilege in being vulnerable. A lot of times I tell people use sometimes your vulnerability for evil and not good. So being intentional with your community and who you allow to be vulnerable to is one of the key things. But I love how you said surround yourself with your community, and also I think you said something, Shannon, about not apologizing to yourself but forgiving yourself, and that's the hardest thing, right? Forgiving yourself for how you treat yourself, how we talk to ourselves, how we didn't show up for ourselves, to be able to forgive. Like, I think that was the hardest thing that I'm still working on, to forgive myself, because society puts so much pressure on us, on our bodies, how we're supposed to look, how we're supposed to show up, how we're supposed to advocate for ourselves. And I think I'm going through that season of forgiving myself. I don't think I fully forgave it. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh, I'm just over it. You go, girl. No. I'm like, come on, girl. Come on. That happened 2 years ago. It doesn't matter. You deserve to be here. Your voice matters. Like, I'm constantly reassuring my own self. And luckily, I have a group of amazing friends and family members that help me reassure myself too.
Araceli and I had our 10th episode last week, and we were talking about exactly that, where we're like, okay, well, this isn't quite right. We've done this wrong. Why are we doing this? And then it's just, okay, you just have to keep showing up. You just have to keep showing up. That's how things happen, is if you continue to show up. Um, I'm curious. So you said that you were just diagnosed recently with anxiety. As someone who has a chronic illness, and I just got diagnosed, I'm in the hospital currently, in case our listeners couldn't tell by the hospital gown. But I just got diagnosed with an autoimmune condition yesterday. And that can be a huge challenge to think, oh, there's something wrong with me. So how are you dealing with that? Like what does your mindset around that look like, and what are you doing in order to make that a part of you and continue on your journey to be the best version of you?
That's a great question, Shannon. Um, every day looks different for me. Um, I'm talking to someone and realizing like it's okay. I, I've I will not lie. This past year, last 2024, up like probably from September to now, it's been hard because I'm just so used to being put together. Um, I am really used to being put together, and so it is hard. The conversations that I have with my family, especially like I say, I'm from a black family, so like we don't believe in, I'm gonna be honest, we don't believe in like diagnosis and like what do you mean something wrong with you? You just tripping, like, so it's a constant battle to advocate and say, like, okay, this is things, and also being okay with like what does that look like for me. I don't think it's like, oh, a label that I kind of put on myself. I think it's like now that I'm aware of like these are the things that are happening, how do I kind of put coping skills to make sure that like I'm having things that'll help me, for sure, that'll help me in the future. So it's an ongoing process. I'm not gonna lie and say like, oh, I'm good. No, this week was hard for me, this week, or me just leaning on saying like, why is something wrong, or X, Y, and Z. Every day is a work in progress. For me, I think this is the first platform I'm actually talking about it. A lot of people, unless you're my close friends, don't really know. But I'm at a space where like, this is who you get, baby. You're gonna have to roll with it. This is who I am. And so the longest relationship you have is with yourself. I tell myself that every single day. And so how am I taking care of myself? And that includes me, okay, if this is what people are saying, this is the diagnosis or whatever, how do we get through this? How do I get the community that I need and support? But every day is hard. I don't think yeah, I talk to my dad a lot about it. I will be honest, my dad is not like for diagnosis, for different things. But I think he's for me. He is for me. So like he's like, he'll call me every day, or we'll text, or like he'll be like, okay, well, we know what we need to do. And I think that's the constant thing. If he's a person that's like not for medicine, not for diagnosis, and he's willing to like show up for me and like have difficult conversations, I think I'm willing to put forth the work to like get myself in a better space, and place. And it's hard because like I'll be honest, this season is usually a busy season of my life. February, I'm all at all the group conferences. I'm doing all the different things. I am not doing it this time. This is the first time I'm like, I don't want to do it because I'm working on me. And if I lose money, okay, the money's gone because I had money and I wasn't healthy. So I'm putting forth the work. And it's hard. It's real hard. It's really hard and scary.
I love that you were sharing and opening up to us. When I met you, you seemed, and I don't know if it was because you were away from family, you just graduated and you were like in this new town, new place, you knew no one. Um, you seem like, and correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm near something, but there is something off. You were this awesome person with such confidence. You were so giving and caring, but there was something that was not the puzzle wasn't connecting. There was something missing. And, when you told me you're leaving, I was sad, but I kind of also understood that this is not where you need to be right now. Not because I didn't want you to be there, but because there was just, something wasn't fitting. And like you had said earlier, like, yeah, there was, I wanted to leave, or, in better words than that. Then when you went and took the job, it was kind of not a good position, not a safe space. Yeah, you left. And then you went to, live with people and your family and stuff. So, like, that just takes so much courage to see that journey into you knowing there's something there, knowing there's something more, and then just kind of knowing this is not the place for me. This is not the job for me when you got that job. I need to step back and I need to kind of let myself blossom into what is now becoming of you.
Yeah, I think when I was there, no, I think it was something missing. When I was away from my family, I was in a white town. Um, yeah, I didn't have any community. I was going through my own identity development, um, figuring out who I was and accepting who I was. And honestly, being okay in being predominantly white spaces, it's no secret that CrossFit gyms are predominantly white. It is probably like 4 or 5 average Black people that attend a CrossFit gym. And so I think I was going through my own battle of like, I look different, I am different, and is it genuine? Are these people generally like for me? This was also during the season of like the Black Lives Matter, George Floyd. Like it was doing that season too when I was in Springfield. And so it was just a lot for me to kind of to bury and to kind of carry by myself. I think when you say that, to go back to that moment to now, it's like I'm more reassured of who I am now versus then. I'm more comfortable in being in different spaces, but also if I don't, I don't want to be there. But I definitely see what you're saying. The piece of the puzzle was missing. I think it's like I said, because I was just dealing with the world and also just dealing with a space, being in Springfield, Missouri by myself and not knowing what to do or like how to show up or am I tripping or having these thoughts or what the case may be, overthinking so many different things. But I was overthinking because that's just how I was grew up too. And the environment that the world was in at the time wasn't really safe for someone like me. And so hyperventilating or overthinking or breathing or like all these things was something I really didn't know what was happening. And so yeah, I ended up moving to Terre Haute, Indiana, because it was just closer to Indianapolis where my dad was at. And I needed, like I said, that support. I had moved so many times for college, for grad school, and I'm like, okay. But yeah, I think that was the piece that was missing. I didn't really have a connection with people. Like it was like I had some friends, but I was just like, I'm lonely. I'm 5 hours away from home. We don't have a local airport, so flights are so much. It just wasn't working for me. And I don't think people should stay in environments where they feel like it's not working.
So should I have reached out to you and like done more to keep you in Springfield, or it
I
just
don't think
wasn't?
so. No,
Real quick,
I feel like
ladies,
you.
the doctor is here. I'm actually going to hop off of here.
Okay.
So,
Okay, see you,
okay.
Shannon.
I'm excited to hear the rest of your story.
No, I feel like we had a good time when we were at. It was just me. You know, when you go through your own thing, it's like it's nothing no one else can do. You have to do the work yourself, and that's the hard part. But no, I had fun. We had fun. You invited me over to barbecues. Like I think you seen that. Like I didn't have many friends, and like I was trying, and so like gravitating to you, Serenity, and even the gym. The gym is still an amazing gym. The owner Jeremy still reaches out to me. I'm on Facebook. But I just was in my own head in my own season.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that you didn't have that connection, because I felt the same way. And I lived in Springfield for my whole life essentially, but I also felt like, Shannon and I have talked many times of where like as soon as we got out of Springfield, we were just able to breathe, you know?
Mm, yes.
Did you feel that too?
I felt like able to breathe. I felt like able to loosen up. Like it was just so much better for me. I don't think I'll ever go back to Springfield, Missouri. I'm cool. Like I'll go back maybe to visit, but like to live, Oh no, I'm not going back. Unless God may have something different in my plans, but right now, oh no, I'm cool. Like it's so crazy even to be at this moment now where I'm in my place and like I'm happy. I had friends over yesterday. Like I didn't have that at Springfield.
Yeah. Yeah, same. We just have like the few close friends, but like trying to fit into, people around us, and like they all have their own established friendships, and it just seems so difficult to kind of fit in, or like, and everybody else was so accepted so easily, and I just always felt like the odd one out. So but I was, lived there for a long time, and you had just moved there. So for us to feel the same thing but come from two different places is kind of, crazy to me. So you went through this whole journey. You are now, talk to us about what you are doing now, and like what kind of opened the door into like propelling you into where you are now.
Yeah. Okay. So what am I doing now? I work for a law association. I do leadership for pre-law and law students. Um, that's full time. That's about day. That's what helps pay the bills, insurance. By passion, I am helping women and college students show up for themselves, navigate their identity development. My master's is in higher education, so that college, that 21 to 28, that range in their 20s, like navigating their own, who are they without their parents or their guardian. And I'm also helping a lot of Black women through Black Girls Who Lift as They Climb. We have events in the city of Indianapolis, and each event is for a cause, because you do not have to be there to lift someone up. Like they don't have to be physically in the face, physically in the space. And so that has been a fulfillment to me. I don't know where it's going to go, but I know it's going to keep going further and further. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I travel and speak to college students about how to show up for themselves as I'm trying to do the same. And it's been rewarding. This is the first time in a long time I am enjoying what I'm doing. I'm not as booked as I normally am, but I am enjoying it. And I have fun, and it fulfills me. I did a TEDx talk, Clarity and Chaos. And so we're like 35,000 views. We're doing good with that. And that was just basically about all my no moments and how I'm going to turn them into yes. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm talking, I'm helping, I'm really trying to make everyone just realize that they don't have to be by themselves, every day at a time. And so that is basically what I'm doing.
There's more, right? Though there was a carrying our weight, but lifting as well that you had
Yes.
mentioned.
The lift as we climb. So Black Girls Who Lift, we have the events, they're workout events. We raise money for a cause, but the women work out. Last year I won second place in a pitch competition, and I got funds to basically help fund Black Girls Who Lift to get more events in the city of Indianapolis. And so they're workout events. They're about an hour strength training, because I'm over 30. And the reality is women 30 plus, we ain't losing weight as fast as just doing cardio. So like strength training has so many benefits. And so really introducing that to a lot of women. Like a lot of women think that, oh, you're gonna get bulky, you lift weights. I'm not trying to look, honey, you need to pick up them weights, because them weights is helping you burn that fat. And so really showing them like this is a different avenue. This is the ways that like you can relieve stress. This is the ways that dopamine can get up. Like this is an outlet for you in like an hour out the day. I'm not asking you to run a marathon. I'm not asking you to do all these things. I'm just asking you to show up for yourself for an hour and let me help you, and let me put the people in the room to help you. Because the reality is a lot of Black women, you know, are diagnosed as being obese, anxiety, depression. We are the ones that are really dying and not taking care of ourselves. And it's just like, I don't think it's totally our fault. Um, I think the access to proper health care, the access to actually having people that are culturally responsive and educated to understand how to deal with us and how to handle us and how our bodies work and function is what's missing. And so I'm just here to help bridge that gap and put the right people in the right room to help the people that I care dearly about. And those are the people that look like me.
That's so fascinating how it seems like you just have no fear and you just have everything, I guess, put together where you can just, create these nonprofits, create these, lifting programs. And then, like you said, bring in the opportunity to have more events for your community, like a whole town. You just get it done.
Yeah. It's crazy. I've just started really like putting forth an effort to do it. I believe do something that comes effortlessly to you and something you can't stop talking about. I think it took me a while to get here to be like, to take it seriously. And I'm like, I love health. I literally just got into it with somebody on Facebook. Like, I need to get on Facebook because I will argue with people. I love advocating for Black women. I love showing up. It's effortlessly and easy because I care and I have my own testimony for it. I'm healthy. It's 7 years going strong. Like, I'm taking care of myself. I know what food to eat, but I had to get here. And I had to go through all the things I'm going through. And so my heart always just smiles when I can help other people like me. Because I'm always reminded of the space that I was in and how I don't want to be back there. How I don't want anyone to feel like that. I'm not even my worst enemy. I would not want someone to feel how I felt. And so it comes effortlessly because of that, because I just care. And it's just not cool. Like how we don't know. And the system has to change. And I don't think that I'm the only thing that can help the system change, but I think I'm just a key part, a small part of the puzzle that can help and to try to make strides. So I don't know if it's easy. I get frustrated or I'm like, I'm over it. But I just keep trying.
Were there any smaller early victories or breakthroughs during the tough time that you went through that gave you a glimpse of hope or direction?
Yeah, I think when I had a few fitness events during that time. So I still was progressing with my fitness events. I had Black Girls Who Live and I didn't think I could pull it off. I ended up getting the funds to pull it off. We ended up raising like close to $1,000. So I was able to give a scholarship away. I was still getting paid to speak. I was still getting revenue in. So at the darkest times, I didn't think my voice really even mattered. I would compare myself a lot to other speakers. I would be like, no one's booking me. I'm not meant to be in the space. And the reality was, I was still having those small moments of like getting booked, those small moments where people were still saying yes to me. IU, Bloomington, um, I had worked with their sorority group and I had did like a session there. It was like a sleepover type situation, and just to be there for those women and for those women to even say like this brought value to me, I was like, okay, you might still need to keep going. And I think the TED talk, doing that TEDxGary last year, I knew that I had something, but I think that was the first time I really watched myself in totality of like, okay, God might be working with you, or you really can't work alone. I did Mom's Giving. It was an event last year where I spoke to a room full of powerful women, moms. I am not a mom. And so I was just like, can I do it? Can I talk to them? What can I add value to these women? And when I tell you the testimonies, the women that came up to me, the ways in which I poured into them, they poured into me, and we had intentional conversations, was just like, okay, girl, you gonna keep playing or you gonna do it? So I think those were some great small moments for me. I was able to work with students at a high school for a little bit of time, and those young ladies hearing their stories and like just what they do, it kind of kept me going of like, life is not that hard, life is not that bad, life is not that bad. So those were some of the things where I was like, okay, those were the small moments. And when I started dropping some pounds, that helped too. That helped when I started to slim down. When I started to get a little slim and trim, I was like, okay, girl, you're looking kind of good. That kind of helped
Really?
with my confidence.
You can see like your jaw structure and everything.
Yes,
Good.
yes, yes. I'm different now for sure. But yeah, that was some small wins for me for sure.
I love that. How did you discover the cause or the organizations that you are now passionate about?
I discovered mine like 2020. My dad, I had always worked for other people, like with speaking or consulting. And so my dad was like, I think you need something by yourself. I was like, I don't know about that. And so for my birthday, he had paid for me to get an LLC. My sorority sister and her husband, well, they were engaged at the time. I think they were married. Who knows? No, they were engaged. At the time, I was at her house and he helped me like do the paperwork for my LLC, and it kind of took off. Like, but I think I needed just that one yes. Then my dad was just like, you should do your own thing still. You should have you should have something for yourself. And so that's when kind of carry the weight started to take off. And then Black Girls Who Lived, no, I take that back. The name Carrying the Weight came from the event that I had in Springfield. It's a fun fact. So the event I had in Springfield for the Rebound Foundation, we had a CrossFit workout style event. We raised money for the Rebound Foundation in Springfield, Missouri for women who have been sexually assaulted, who have needed shelter, whatever the case may be. I mean, we had raised like over $3,000. Like the CrossFit community donates to causes for sure. And so we called the event Carrying the Weight. It was a girl named Tamika, my homegirl. She gave me that name, Carrying the Weight, for an event. And it just stuck. And then that's when my dad invested the money into it. So gave me the name, had a fitness event, and it kind of started from there. And then I kind of went off after that. And then years later, I started to come up with this like Black Girls Who Lived and women empowerment and like all the things from like 4 groups of friends. We were working out during COVID. We started to have fitness events continuing in it. And yeah, it just took off then from there. I got connected for the resources that I used, the Indianapolis community, from my sorority sisters, from just relationships. The relationships that I built helped me get opportunities to, okay, this is what you need to do, X, Y, and Z. Just asking the question. A great example was my medication that I wanted to get, that I had to get, cost so much. It was like $900. I don't have $900. Um, and I asked my friend, I was like, hey, I'm dealing with this. What should I do? She knew the answer. She knew like how to give me the discount, all those different type of things. So I think I gained access or gained resources because I asked questions. And it's me being able to say I don't know. I think a lot of people, we struggle with not knowing. And I'm being okay with like, I don't know everything. And I'm not supposed to.
Was it something you'd been connected to before, or did it emerge as you worked through your challenges?
Oh, it emerged as I worked in my challenges for sure. I think I've always been connected to working out, but like this wellness piece and realizing that you can look good on the outside and feel terrible on the inside. That is where I'm at now. Yeah, so I think it has emerged over time based off the experiences because I still look good now, but like I still have work to do, and I don't think it's ever a time where it stops. You stop working on yourself. I don't think that's a thing. I think you will always evolve. You will always need work, and you always go through different seasons. And so, yeah, I think it has just evolved over time. And so now I'm just like, this is what I'm good at. This is what I kind of like. This is my little soft spot.
What advice would you give someone facing a struggle similar to yours who might be
Mhm.
feeling unsure of how to make a change?
Hmm. I would first say give yourself grace. Um, you wasn't given a book on how to navigate life. It's no book to navigate life. I think find your community, whether it's one person or 10 people, who are the people that will help you through these times that you are going through. I think write down some habits that you want to unlearn or some things that like needs to be worked on. I think writing down or figuring out what resources or things you might need for sure. And the last one, take it day to day. I think we like to make goals. It's the new year. I think we put all these things into place, but the thing that helped me get through my challenges is I took it day to day. I still do. And every day is not going to be good. That's what I will tell them. And it is okay if some days you are triggered or some days it's like you're still grieving. Um, it's an ongoing cycle. And also I tell people, ask yourself, like, how much is your self-worth to you? Like, how much are you really worth? You're your biggest investment. And so this is just making some strides to that. But yeah, that's probably what I would kind of tell them.
Amazing. What personal qualities do you believe were essential to overcoming your obstacles, and how can others cultivate these qualities within themselves?
Self-awareness, I think it's a personal quality, I guess. Being self-aware of who you are, and what is it that you need, and paying attention to your body. Um, Another personal quality is, I don't know if it's really a quality, but I think being able to ask for help and being able to say that you don't know. Like I said, you don't know, and how can you get to the answer is one of the different things. I'm very, like I said, into my faith, and so being able to lean onto another person, whether it's a higher power, whether it's whatever it is that you believe in. For me, like I say, it's God, and asking for the direction, because I just surrendering myself, because I don't know what I don't know. And so that's one of the biggest things as far as a personal quality. I don't think it's like a one size fit all. I think it's determined. Each thing is customized based off that person.
If you could give our listeners one piece of advice to help them find purpose and turn their challenges into positive change, what would it be?
Mm. Help them find purpose and turn their challenges positive change. I think I would say, to help you find your purpose is to figure out what keeps you up at night, to figure out what you can't stop talking about, to figure out a cause or something, that a problem that you want to solve. Because that's the thing too. Purpose is solving a problem, for sure, but also to figure out how is this uniquely connected to you. That's really one of the things that I have done, and to do the self work, do the work, and realize it won't be easy. Realize that you will get frustrated. You will want to give up sometimes. You will get rejected. You will hear no. But like I said, it's not that you will never hear no, it's how you respond to the no. It's one of the things that's influential. So challenges will come. It's you developing coping strategies and systems to deal with the no. For sure, to get you closer. And realize that you're allowed to change your mind. I've changed my career so many times. I've changed what I want to talk about. You're allowed to change your mind. So it might change. But each assignment gets you closer and closer to your purpose. And so every season of your life is getting you closer and closer to what you're destined to do.
I love that. Oh my gosh, you're so pretty. Like, I just feel like you could just be an actress somewhere. Let's do some movies now. That's your next step. That's your next career change.
Movies, movies. Yeah. But but I don't know. I think my next thing is to write. I want to write, whether it's a reflection book, or I could see myself having a journal. I can. Um, I think that's gonna be my next move. For sure. Journal, workout, something, but something with reflection for sure, and leading people into it. Also maybe even life coaching. I think that'll be from years from now. I'll get into life coaching, and really dive into doing some work with helping people. But as of right now, just fitness events, talking, and working on myself.
Just don't downplay it.
Right, right.
Looking back, is there anything you wish you had known earlier in your journey that might help someone else on a similar path?
That I don't have to suffer in silence. Yeah. Um, I come from a family where, like, my mom, I say this all the time. She had me at 16. Mom's a very like strong, and a lot of people like, oh, I don't want to use the word strong to describe a little bit, whatever. Sister's strong. She's done a lot, and so I've never seen her be vulnerable. I never seen her like ask for help, and so that was this shell that taught me like, girl, you need to figure it out. And I wish I would learn earlier. You don't have to figure it out because there's no rule book and there's no playbook for life. You can't get a degree out of life. And so I wish I would have known sooner that you don't have to know everything and you can ask for help and you have people that want to help you. You just have to ask.
I have a hard time asking.
It's so hard. Well, because it's this notion of like, you don't want to be disappointed. Right. And then if you ask for help and they don't help you, or if you ask for help and they do it wrong, it's like, I could have did this myself.
Yes. Or I get the ones where you ask for help and they just kind of snicker behind your back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
like, yeah, they're not trying to help you. They're not trying to help you.
Like, okay, now I feel bad for asking. And then it just makes me more into the person who doesn't want to ask for help. But
and then it's too like comparing. I think I struggle with comparing myself so long. Sometimes I still get in my head and like compare myself to people. I know we talked earlier. You said like, oh well, the podcast is not where I wanted to be, or like sometimes I'm quick to criticize myself. That is me. I'm quick to be like, girl, why you say that? That didn't even make sense. Like, oh girl, this does not look aesthetically nice. Like, why your stuff don't look like their stuff? But I really have to sometimes get out of my head and be like, your stuff is fine. It's the season that you're in. And do you care more about how it look or if you're actually reaching a person? So I have to keep reminding myself that.
yeah. Closing questions. So Shannon always asks this one. And in the black came from a financial term of being in the positive. So that's their in finance, that's their term. And so she also used it for forming our name. So what does being in the black mean to you personally?
That's a good question. Um, I think in the black means to me personally that you're in a discovery, that you're in this soft spot, but you're still reaching for more and more. I think it means that you're still on this journey to become better and better. In the black is like, I've been through some things. I still might be going through some things, but I'm making strides to get out of it, to get to this nicer place. I don't think it's a good spot. I think it's an okay spot. And it's a spot that's gonna push you to the next spot. That's what I feel like. I feel like it's this area of like, you feel like you're good, you've navigated some challenges, but life is still lifing. So that's what I think in the black mean.
Oh, you just need to move to Tampa. I'm just kidding.
Hey.
It's fun down here. And it's not
down here. Right, because it's cold up here.
I don't do well with cold.
Me either.
Then come to Florida.
You come to Florida.
Pack your whole house. Leave your stuff in Fort Myers when you come here this Friday and just like migrate up to Tampa and then we'll just hang out.
I'm here. I'm not leaving.
How do you envision your work and impact growing in the future?
I think I envision my work now. I feel like I help hundreds. I want to help thousands. I want to help millions of people around the world. Right now, I'm in Indianapolis, but I don't think I'll be in Indianapolis for long. Like I think Black girls who live caring the way will be it'll take off. Like it'll be this thing. It'll be a slogan. And it'll really help so many women based off, like I said, the challenges that I went through and that God allowed me to kind of navigate through. So I think this is just a seed that's gonna be like planted, but like it's gonna grow so many different places. So it gives me like chills because I know it could be something just so much bigger than what it is now with the right work and the right discipline to get it to where it needs to be. And I think this is the first time I'm believing in what I do. I think it was easy for me to be a part of someone else's vision. It was easy for me to support. It's so easy to support other people and to show up and be that friend for the next person. It's hard to be a friend for yourself. And I'm being a friend for myself and I'm showing up for myself. And I'm believing in the businesses that I have and the message that I've been given.
I love that. Yeah, I'm in the same way right now.
Yes, because In the Black is dope. This was dope. I mean, the questions, what you were doing, like you're totally different than when Springfield. I feel like you're really reaching the calling that you want to do and the stories that you want to tell and the women and the voices on this platform.
Oh, thank you. And lastly, where can our listeners find you?
Yes. So I am LaShatá.Marie on Instagram. We have a website, carryingtheweight.org. You can find us at blackgirlswholift.com. We have social medias for all those as well, Black Girls Who Lift, Carrying the Weight. And yes, and my TEDx Gary is on YouTube. So you can find me on YouTube as well.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of In the Black. I hope today's story left you feeling inspired and reminded of the incredible strength that lies in each of us. Our guest today has taken her toughest challenges and transformed them into something beautiful, reminding us all that even in the darkest moments, there's always a way to find light in the world.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to subscribe and share In the Black with another woman who could use a little encouragement. Together, we're building a community of passion, purpose, and power. Until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and remember your story matters. Your choices change things, and being your most authentic self can and will change the world around you.